today. Before we dive into everything composable, I would love for you to tell me a little bit about yourself and how you came to found Commerce Layer.
Yeah, so my name is Filippo Conforti. I founded Commerce Layer officially in 2017, even if, let's say, we had a bootstrap story before we ended, doing our Series A round here in Silicon Valley with Benchmark in 2020. So someone consider us, really founded in 2020. Before that experience, I used to work with Gucci, the Italian luxury brand.
Of course I know.
I'm sure you do. And I was responsible of building and scaling the e-commerce platform.
Wow.
It was more than 10 years ago. Yeah, because I joined Gucci in 2011, and so that's why, how I started working. I had already experience in e-commerce, but that experience was obviously the most important before Commerce Layer. So the idea of Commerce Layer and composable headless really came from that experience.
Was there something at your experience with working at Gucci that prompted you to found Commerce Layer? Was there a challenge, I should say, that you were identifying? You're like, we need something for this.
Yes. So first, I remember when we were on a whiteboard, with different domains, content, commerce, search, payments, and we were doing composable without even knowing. That's a nice word, not keyword or buzzword. I know it. But yeah, so we were really looking to optimize each domain of the experience and the architecture with the best-in-class tools. We were already doing that. And another, experience that we had was more related to the front-end experience. The business team, the digital team of Gucci, created a beautiful experience, a beautiful design with an agency, and then we, the developers, had to implement that experience into a monolithic platform. That was very, very difficult. It was like fitting a square into a rounded box. Just didn't
impossible
fit.
Almost. Yeah.
So my co-founder Massimo and I, we met at Gucci. We had this idea of separating the front end from the back end. Again, we didn't call it headless, but that's what we did. So composable on one side, headless, all together. And then we said, you know what, this way of building e-commerce is not bad at all. And we had, this, we were brave enough, let's say, to leave a company like Gucci, and start this journey.
And thank goodness you did.
Yeah.
Well, that was another question I wanted to ask you, and maybe we can dive into it a little bit more, was around your first time you heard about composable. But it sounds like before you even heard the buzzword, if we want to say, it was you were implementing different design around it.
Yeah, I think I did composable before hearing about composable, and then that's what I was doing.
Yeah,
right? So,
have you seen, looking back to today, have you been able to identify this large uptick with the adoption of composable or headless?
Yeah, 100%, especially in the last year, or maybe more, let's say 18 months, because I'm saying last year from, since 6 months ago.
Time flies. True, yeah.
But let's say, a year ago, we were explaining more and more what composable is, what the benefits are. Not that we are not doing now, because we still need to communicate the benefits. But now brands, organizations know about composable, and it is more like how to get started, right? And so, what's the best pattern? What are the components that we should consider? What about the sequencing, also the steps, because we always recommend a step-by-step approach. So it's very, very different, and it's exciting to be, in this ecosystem today, even more than some years ago. That was more a bet, was more a vision.
Yes.
Now it's really reality.
Yes.
Really reality. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's. I'm glad you brought that up, because even a year ago or 15 months ago, I remember a lot of times people would come and, around composable, they'd come and the first thing that they would ask is, well, why composable, or what are the benefits? Kind of similar to what you were saying when people are coming to Commerce Layer or businesses are coming. That's kind of that was their first question. And even within the last 15 months, there's been this shift to not why, but more so the benefits are widely recognized.
And the how.
And the how, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
On that note, when someone, even though they might know the benefits, what are some of the main benefits with going composable that you would share with other businesses? And I know it might vary based on business, but just overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's common sense, right? That you can't find like one solution that does everything you need. This is especially true for mid-market enterprise organizations. It's just very difficult or impossible in my experience. So instead of like picking a monolith that is supposed to do everything you need out of the box, and then it doesn't, and then you give your developers a big monolith with a technology they don't like, and so with a technical debt that they have to deal on a day-by-day basis, And so ultimately, if I had to pick one, is the time to market, which is really linked to the developer experience, because a happy developer is even much more productive, and you can really ship things much faster and better and safer, So, but I would say the flexibility and the time to market, because it's easy to be fast with a simple solution, right? With a very, with a simple, let's say, with simple requirements. But when your requirements are complex, and you can be fast in delivering those, products, digital products, this is where composable really shine.
Yeah. I love it. That's been a common thread throughout our composable conversations today, is the go-to-market time is so much quicker, taking things that might have taken businesses years, even 1 to 2 years, to now being down to months in some cases.
Yeah, or even less. It depends on on which component we are talking about. Because one of the things that I like more is that you can again progress incrementally, measure the ROI of what you're doing. Possibly step back if something didn't work out as you expected. So you reduce the risk. You get more ROI as you grow, instead of like doing a 2-3 years project and hope for the best, And when you go live, then your technology will be already old, because the new stuff will be already there. So it's really, you start going composable. Tomorrow I will give a talk about composable, and the title is Composable Begins with 2 Components, because from 1 to 2 you're already composable. Are you fully composable? No. Have you solved all your problems? No. But it's already a start, and especially you have introduced a composable mindset in your organization, which is maybe the hardest part, right? 100%. So going to 1 to many, and then how many? It depends on the maturity level of your organization, your product, and you can go, and it really depends on the different use cases.
Yeah, it's so true. I'm glad you brought that up, because we often see businesses thinking that they need to go from 0 to 100 with composable, where it's you're migrating and you need to migrate everything all at once, or it's a massive undertaking or commitment. But as you're going to speak about tomorrow as well, it can be, even if you have 2 components that are composable, you're already starting your journey with it.
Yeah.
That's really great.
There are also cases where you do a big bang, let's say, makes sense, right? You do more a greenfield project, and you go from one monolith to a best-in-class stack in one step. Maybe for the mid-market organizations, or in some cases you just need to leave everything. But in general, again, whenever you can, let's go step by step. Even if you want to go from A to B, let's go there step by step, instead of like doing all at once.
All at once, Last question I have for you is, can you share a customer story that really stands out for you, or a customer experience?
Let's see. I'm thinking of, I love the case of Rafa.
Okay.
Rafa is like cycling.
I can see the logo in my mind.
Yeah, and it's a great brand. They have great developers.
A cycling brand, right?
Cycling
yes,
brand,
yes.
And Yeah, I really like their approach,
Yeah.
because they are they are migrating away from a monolith, and they're doing that step by step. They're really following all the best practices, right?
Yes.
It's still in progress, the migration, but they are they are almost there with the first iteration. And I just love the brand. And another case that I'd like to share is Chili's. Do you know, they do reusable bottles? It's a nice brand.
I'll have to look it up. Yeah.
Out of the UK, they're a global brand, and the agency that built they were really precursors of the composable approach in the early days, and I liked that case because. This is really about commerce layer.
Of course.
When they came to us, they were already in the composable journey. They were using Shopify as their commerce engine, just for cart and checkout, because they had already decomposed Shopify.
Yes.
And so they were running on 5 Shopify instances, and then they migrated to commerce layer, one account to support all markets, and then they, expanded to 30 more markets. And I like that case because specifically, with composable, you can also measure, about measuring ROI and measuring, and going step by step. You could really compare apples to apples. In that case, it was not a redesign project, a replatforming project. And then if things go better or go not that good, you don't know what the reason of that.
Yeah.
Instead, in that specific case, the brand could measure the benefits of moving to commerce layer because everything else was exactly the same, and then they kept iterating, in the journey, and they redesigned the website, and
it's a great story.
Yeah, Chili's.com, and it's a beautiful website.
Wow. Okay, I might have to order my next reusable water bottle from them. Yeah,
you
exactly.
Should.
Filippo, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you.